Welcome to another episode of The World According to Frank, and it's the fourth one, and it's about microchip. I've already tried to start this off once today, and I messed up and had some technical difficulties, and it started off exactly the same way the last time, me forgetting to pause the YouTube video in the background. So since I already did about 5 minutes of this, I'll just get right to it. Today we're going to do part one of this Punisher mini, the Orgin of Micro chip right here. Oh, by the way, yeah, I'm doing it from a car today, without the mic that I forgot at home. So I'm winging it. I promised you Saturdays, Fridays. I promised you Fridays, Sundays, and Tuesdays, and I'm going to deliver on that. Punisher, Origin of Microchip. Strange episode because it also focuses on Punisher and training to go into Vietnam and in Vietnam. I don't know why. This is a strange thing from top to bottom. Punisher's going and getting trained. I ran through this already, so there's nothing really special here anyway. I'm going to make this a quick episode today. He's running through training. He's got a buddy with him. Frank loves his buddy, but his buddy is like a sneak and a backstab, which also seems to happen to Micro in this issue too. Sneak and backstab friends happen to come up. And here we get to Micro, the man of the hour, the man of the issue. And he's just waiting in line for something. I'm not even sure what he's waiting in line for. Yeah, no, it doesn't say. It's like everybody's waiting in line. Like they want us to get used. It's like the USSR. Everyone wants us to get used to this system because communist universities. And when was this? When was this issue made? 93. All right, because of communist universities, and they're deriding him. Well, he's not actually. Nobody's deriding him. He's just cracking jokes. Like, nah, I'm just kidding. Nah, kind of. And then it goes on, and he's talking to this girl, flirting with her and being all nice. And then his buddy, who they draw to look like a creep, as you can see right there, looks like a creep. And yeah, so he's just there looking like a creep. And that's Micro's buddy, who's a creep. Threatens him, vaguely threatens him. He's like, hey, can you break into these grades for me? Nah. Well, what about these black box that help people avert the phones? You're okay with that? He's like, oh, what are you gonna turn me in? Nah, man. And then he goes off to class, messes with the professor, more about communism and stuff. And this teacher, who they just drew to look evil. Yeah, like he looks like a supervillain. Like straight up. It's ridiculous. And so they go on. Micro gets convinced to break in for his buddy, changes his grades. Evil professor finds out, dangles an offer in front of Micro to rip off these banks and make like millions of dollars and stuff. But Micro doesn't want to do it, so he gets blackmailed into doing a thing for Micro. It's crazy. And then Punisher's having to go to war. And he's not liking war, and he finds himself having to kill and fight his way through war, like as soldiers are wont to do. Well, not want to do, you know what I mean, as they do. So there we go. Frank's in getting action, kind of questioning everything, like, oh, I don't know what I've seen. And then his buddy is stealing equipment from the army and selling it to friendly armies, which he shouldn't be doing. The art is very strange in this whole thing. Oh, and now we found out that girl Micro's been chatting up is now she's now pregnant, and so Micro has a crisis of conscience, and then he decides he needs to do the job for his professor, the evil Professor Villain. I'm just gonna call him Professor Villain. You don't give a guy mutton chops and a beard like that if he's not a villain. And so yeah. He has to go. He goes through this whole thing. Micro's all drunk because he decided he had to do it. So he's like nursing the hangover going through this. And yeah, it goes awry pretty quick. But there's a horrible, horrible panel here that it's just crazy that this was in a comic in the 90s that has a Rocky D dinosaur gum thing on the back, like chewy fruit candies, like fruit snacks. But yeah, let's see if I could just get it for you. If you guys want to read it, you can, I think. Yeah, there we go. Like, very cruel. Very, very cruel. And if you can't read it, well, I'm sorry. But it's just a very cruel, crazy panel for a comic. And apparently, she doesn't necessarily want to have one, but he's fine with it. He drops out of college. He's going to go to school and stuff. But banks are moving on quick, figuring out what they did and going after him. And there's a lot of crazy things. Yeah. Very well, Mr. Melcher. I'll show them the bottom line. The bottom line of doing business, but bottom line as in death. So there's that. Frank goes to visit his friend who got caught for selling provisions. Ever in your self-righteous mode, eh? I was just fulfilling a need. Yeah, it's insane. And then that somehow has something to do with Micro, but no, he gets sent home for a little bit to chill. And look how that art's like, that's weird. They made him look like some kind of like Rob Zombie, like, weird villain man. I don't know what they were doing there. They made him look evil, all right, but not like a real person. So he's in college, and then he bumps it, and then Micro bumps into him when Micro is going to get drafted for some reason, even though he's still in school. It was like a mistake, and Frank calls him a fat girl, and pretty much sends him on his way. Yeah, it's so weird. This is such a weird one. Oh, 1 second. This happened last time. This was part of the technical difficulties, why I had to restart the video. There we go. So, we're almost at the end anyway. So, whole thing is, Frank's in New York now, bored. Micro almost got drafted. Didn't get drafted because his arches aren't great. Tisk, those arches. Oh, those arches, Micro. You couldn't be in the army with those arches. You need nice, flat, perfect arches. Wait, no, flat, whatever. So, he gets away from there. The bank mafia ends up going after him and says, "Greetings from the gnomes of Zurich." That's where we leave Micro. Oh, and let me show you Micro and Frank meet by bumping into each other. And that's not something we've seen a million times in fucking everything and Origins of, like, oh, they had to cross paths. Like, we don't need that. Like, audiences aren't dumb. It's like, oh, they crossed paths way before they even actually crossed paths. Let's make it like that. They're like, oh, so that was you that day. And no, nobody needs that. Nobody wants that. Just it's Joker killing. It's so many things. Everything just flooded my head. That shit doesn't need to be done. It's cheesy. It's goof. Like, I want my Punisher serious. I like my Punisher like I like my movies. Serious and dark and gritty. That's how all movies should be. Sorry, I'm going off on a joke tangent, but that's what I do like my Punisher to be. Not, whoa, not Micro and Frank having a meet cute. That's unnecessary. Very strange issue. Very strange issue. All in all, very strange and harsh thing. And yeah, I'd say for being in a car, this episode ain't too bad. It's a nice car, very homey. And yeah, I'm gonna say I'll see you all on Sunday for the second issue in this series, and I don't think it's gonna be any less weird. In fact, I think it's gonna be more convoluted and weird. This is so far one of the lesser ones that I've read for it, but it's still a curiosity. Curiosities are good. Oddities as well. The curiosity and oddities little thing that travels around with all those Siamese twins in jars and just like crazy like spider-legged things and issues of this just laying around at your local carnival. All right, guys. So I believe on that note, I'm gonna leave you guys and see you Sunday. And we'll see how everything goes. You guys were brilliant. You guys are great. You guys were lovely. Mwah, mwah, mwah. See you next time.